Hey, Maloelele, Talofa Lava, Bulavanaka, and welcome to the inaugural Heritage Hockey Tournament coming to you live from Papatoetoe in Auckland. It is our pleasure to have you here as we celebrate the culmination of culture in hockey and showcase the best talent from our New Zealand Māori, New Zealand Indian, New Zealand Pasifika, and New Zealand development pathways. My name is Brad Pittman and I will be here to take you through all the action from the final game of the day, which sees the New Zealand Pasifika men taking on the New Zealand development men. I'm joined on the call here by Ethan Honig, who has been one of the driving forces behind setting this tournament up from a New Zealand Māori point of view. What is this tournament hoping to provide for these communities?
Kia ora, Brad. Yes, thank you very much for that. I think the moving forward and getting these young, talented heritage players in front of cameras, in front of people on the sidelines and in front of Hockey New Zealand has been a real big key focus for us. And we've worked hard over the last couple of months and worked directly with Hockey New Zealand and managed to get them down here, which their team is about to play against the Pasifika.
It's awesome to see this Pasifika hockey being put together for both the men's and the women's sides. Now, I had Will here on the last call who has his daughter Lulu, who's been a big part of driving Pasifika hockey, and it's awesome to see so many talented players out here for the Pasifika men's team. You know, you've got guys like Stuart Pitu, who has played NHL campaigns for Midlands and been an NHL champion. And as we have a look at the Pasifika hockey lineup for today, we notice guys like Jacob Suchun, who's part of the New Zealand development pathways, the Fraser brothers, Aidan and Xander Fraser, who have been very successful across different age groups, and of course their captain Jan Peterson, who's spent a long time in the New Zealand hockey scene, both for North Harbour and for the New Zealand Defence Force. He'll lead their team around the park today. On the New Zealand hockey development side of things, we've got a young team out here, but an exciting team. They have the likes of Max Wyndham-Smith, who's played for the New Zealand Under-21s at the Sultan of Johor Cup. They've got a couple of good goalkeepers in Taylor Craigie and Louis Beckett. And look to see the drag-flicking exploits of Callum Olsen, who, if they get attacking penalty corners, will definitely be looked to between him and their captain Charles Ulrich for a real strike weapon in their penalty corners. Now, this is going to be an exciting game. I think the New Zealand development team are going to want to play fast. They're going to want to go, and they're going to want to attack. And we saw how exciting that can be in our first men's match of the day between the New Zealand Māoris and the New Zealand Indians. When teams with that sort of flair and attacking prowess go forward, we get some exciting hockey. Now, the Pasifika men, as they take off through Jan, their captain, will look to control the game. Guys like Stu Pitu, who's on the ball at the back now, very calm, very cool, collected player. As Jan plays the ball out there now and they get their first attack, we see that picked up by Charles Ulrich. Now, obvious right from the get-go, Ethan, how vocal both teams are and making sure that communications at the start of their match. Both teams have probably only really come together last night. How important is the communication going to be through this game?
Oh, extremely important for sure for both teams. I think right from the back, from their keepers moving all the way forward, they're going to have to be pretty loud, pretty vocal. The wind's picking up slightly, and already the ball's gone in a whole figure eight from the whole part of the field already, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, as we see the New Zealand development side just giving themselves a little double turnover there and have an attacking opportunity. This game is going to be fast. We are going to see the ball move from end to end very quickly, and the team that can control that pace to suit them are going to go a long way to being successful in this match. Now, what I'm looking forward to seeing is the flair of these Pasifika men's players. We've got some exciting guys out here that have played, games for Fiji national team, games for New Zealand Under-21s, games at a very high level, and how they can execute and play within a pretty loose structure that I'm sure their coach Brett Lever, who was a phenomenal hockey player certainly in his time, will have these guys going fast, going forward, wanting to score goals. Now, of course, Brett played 155 games for New Zealand in his time, so it's really exciting to see him here leading this New Zealand Pasifika men's side from a coaching perspective, and the information and knowledge he can share with these young players. Both teams have already had some opportunity going forward, as we see an entry ball in there from the Pasifika team. Well looked after at the back. That's Callum Olsen out on the ball. Interestingly enough, Callum qualifies to either play for this side or the New Zealand Māori team.
That's good pressure there from Jan on the young fella.
Yeah, we can already see the physicality of Jan. Like I said, he's played a few years for the Defence Force. Good, tough, physical player.
Here goes Xander. Oh, what a start.
That's a phenomenal goal there by Adrian Smith. So Adrian is actually a member of the Fijian men's national team, and he plays his hockey down in Christchurch in the CPL. As we see the replay, quick turnover, ball across to Jan, who finds his goal scorer right there with a little reverse touch. Not a lot the goalkeeper can do. We are on the board, 1-0 to the New Zealand Pasifika men.
I tell you, Brad, these Pasifika boys, they are switching and they are fast.
Yeah, we got some athletes out there for sure,
Yeah.
which is exciting. You know, both teams are going to want to play quick, which is going to breed some exciting opportunities, and I'm hoping that both teams can keep this pace up for 4 quarters, because this is already lightning quick, very skillful, and an exciting watch. So have a look at the connection through this game between Aiden and Xander Fraser. Now the Fraser brothers and their father Kevin, who's been instrumental in putting Pasifika hockey together, certainly on the men's side. But the Fraser boys are out there together. Xander will play in the midfield, commanding the centre of the park, and Aiden will just play in a bit of a free man role in behind him there. Those two have played a fair bit of hockey together, so look to see the way that they work there as a little duo in the midfield for the Pasifika men's team.
This development team's stretching it right out. They've got the ball back inside their half, and their players are in the circle, in the opposite circle.
Yeah, they'll be, like we saw with the development women's side, structurally very good. So they're coached by Simon Brill, who's part of the New Zealand Hockey Pathways Management, and he is a fantastic coach, and will have these guys operating at a pretty high level. Similar to the development women, it'll be to see if they can put the last little bit of execution on their structure. You know, little things like that, which, as young players, is extra pressure to perform, against some older, more experienced guys. But I'm sure Brilly will expect a lot of his players.
Bit of a defensive press there by Pasifika, forcing the turnover. And now coming into attack. This ball's with Stuart Pitu at the moment.
Yeah, like I said, Shu's a seasoned campaigner. He's played, overseas, over in France. He's played a fair bit of National Hockey League, and will be very controlled at the back with how he plays. And he plays an excellent centre defender or free man when he needs to. Come up from the Collegians Hockey Club in Hamilton. As the Pasifika men turn the ball over.
Well read there by Xander Fraser.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, just a quick mention to our umpires for today's game, Max Beach and Bren Duckworth. They're in Team Pink. We'll have I'd say a pretty tough job today, keeping this passion that these players have, especially these Pasifika boys, in line and under control without taking away from the spectacle in the game that I'm sure they will put on. So, Max and Bren will do a fantastic job. Bren himself, a member of the Pasifika community, so it's awesome to have those umpires involved in this tournament. As we see the Pasifika men look to break forward.
Great tackle there by Jacob Sejun. Pushed it out wide.
Yeah, it's awesome to see Jake out here. He's come up through Hamilton, and we've seen him play for the Midlands NHL side at the last National Hockey League, and playing his club hockey up in North Harbour now. very well could have been part of this New Zealand development side, but chose to play for his Pasifika heritage, which is really important, really awesome, as we see a good, strong collision there between Callum Olsen and Fitua Nokisi.
And what you couldn't see on screen about a minute ago, the whole Pacific team sliding in sync across back and forth, doing a defensive half press. It looked pretty good from where we're sitting.
Yeah, like I said, between Stu and his direction from the back and Jan's ability to control his striker's press and the two Fraser boys and Jake Suchun in the midfield, they will be well oiled. These are good, experienced guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
They will know how to put on presses here, as we see an overhead ball out of the back from Aiden Fraser. Not able to be brought under control quickly, but they do enough to clean up. Through young David Bates playing out at right defender for New Zealand Development. They swing the ball around the back, really looking to move this Pasifika team around.
Unforced errors there. They could become costly.
I may have put the commentator's curse on Batesy there, unfortunately. He'll get him back next time. Pasifika team move forward. They've got ball on the sideline. Also happy to move the ball around the back. Again, that's Aiden Fraser across to Stu Pitu. Not quite linking up with his midfield.
Yeah, I think the midfield needs to lead back a bit in that situation. He was waiting for the ball to come to him, but the development player just stepped in front of him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something this Pacific team's going to have to do with the speed of this development side. They can't just allow or wait for things to come to them. They're really going to have to go and grab it. And as you can see how fast-paced the game already is.
Oh,
how quick
Max
these young fellas
Smith,
are.
what a run.
Nice transfer of ball across to Adam Banks there. He's got himself into a little bit of trouble trying to take on two defenders, though.
Strong defence there from Pasifika.
Aiden Fraser back on the ball.
That was good pressure from the development forwards. Just rushing up on Stuart Pitu there, forcing an error, but
yeah, it looks like Moss Jackson up there. He's a good old school Canterbury battler, that man. He played for the Alpiners during the Premier League last year. Doesn't mind having a good shot at goal, so look to see Moss have a bit of a go forward if he gets the opportunity.
As well out by Tim Sheed there, clearing it. No one really to hit to for the Pasifika winger there. Well, nice tackle.
Yeah, unfortunately Sam Hewitt not able to get through the New Zealand Development defence there. Attempting a little bit of 3D skill, just didn't quite make it past the stick tackle. As George Baker plays the ball forward for the New Zealand Development member, it is intercepted by the Stu Pitu there. New Zealand Development men happy to fall out to a almost a half court press. They've got their strikers just in front of the midline there, but looking to consolidate their midfield a little bit in the later parts of this first quarter. Obviously, if you're just joining us, the Pasifika team are up 1-0 through a fantastically executed goal to Adrian Smith. But we are in the first quarter and we have had a lot of action already. Pasifika goalkeeper not called on too much just as of yet, but expect that to change as the match progresses.
Yeah, I think the game's kind of settled down a bit from the first 5 minutes. It was extremely fast, and I think they've felt themselves out and starting to slip into their own game plans by the looks of it. Yeah,
I think you're right. It's it's always a interesting first 5 minutes of a men's match like this, where both teams want to assert a little bit of dominance and get the first I guess, mark on the board, and both teams have slowed down a little bit now. Not in a bad sense. I think it's more controlled hockey, but the Pasifika men do have the scoreboard advantage at the moment. So
there's that sliding defence from the Pasifika. They're certainly marking man-to-man and making it hard for the development team to breach the centre. Did the keeper touch it then? I don't think he did. So Callum Grassick yet to touch the ball.
You've got Adam Banks on the ball there. He looks to use some width through his left defender. That's a
great tackle.
Great tackle and turnover there. Not a lot of numbers ahead of the ball, unfortunately, for Pasifika men. That speed in the first 5 minutes may be taking a little bit of a toll.
That was an intense 50-50 competition, that. Both players diving for the ball.
It's Daniel Wood at the back here, just happy to roll the ball into his midfielder. Let him survey his options and stay in a bailout position. He gets the ball back and we'll look at what's ahead of him. You can see a little bit of purchase on the right sideline there and back through their midfield. So the New Zealand development team moving the ball well, but that's a great pick tackle from Jake Suchun, who is read, unfortunately, like a book. And it's Easter, so maybe the Bible, but read all the same. Well by the development side, who just lose the ball out over the back line. Now, come into the last few minutes, we've got to the Pasifika with a little bit of a ascendancy on the game. They've certainly had the opportunities and taken their one fantastically well in this quarter. The development team won't want to spend long periods of time down on the scoreboard. They will want to make their opportunities count when they get them. They just have to build up play and earn the right for their goal scoring opportunities. Now, it's a good little bit of defensive work there from Moss Jackson. And that's Charles Ulrich playing the ball across the field.
Oscar Nation taking it into the circle and cleared eventually. Stuart Pidu takes it quickly, and already that was off to Sam Hewitt. And Pasifika are now threatening the circle. And
stroke awarded there. Now a intense challenge put on by the goalkeeper for the New Zealand development team. I think unfortunately he had to do something because he was out of his cage, he was on the ground, and it looked like Opiti Tuimana may get around him, so did have to attempt to stop a goal and did, but illegally. So Bryn Duckworth left with no other option but to award a stroke here. We have Aidan Fraser stepping up to take this.
I tell you, Brad, I thought we were wood chopping just then. Great goal.
Very well finished there by Aidan Fraser. That puts the second goal on the board for the New Zealand Pacific side.
So an eventful first quarter. 2 goals up, Pasifika. They're playing strong defence, and the development team struggling to just get into the opposition circle and put some goals in. So, yeah, very good game plan so far from the Pasifika.
Yeah, unfortunately for those of you who are following along at home and may have missed the goal on our feed, Aidan Fraser from the New Zealand Pasifika team was awarded a stroke, stepped up and flicked the ball past the New Zealand development goalkeeper for their second goal. So it is 2-0. We are nearing into the end of the first quarter. And hasn't it proven important, these 2-minute periods on either side of the breaks during the first day of this tournament? I've spoken about them multiple times, but a really key time to strike and extending the advantage from 1-0 up to 2-0 could prove really costly to the New Zealand development men's side if they are unable to get something back here early in the second quarter.
Interesting to see there. The Pasifika come racing up the sideline and then turn around and roll it back as calm as you can and just start their attack again. They're being very patient.
Yeah, it's something I've been really impressed with this Pasifika side is their balance of aggressive, go forward, play fast hockey, and then the ability to stop, hold the play up, and be it through Stu Pitu or through Aiden Fraser, is just consolidate, control the ball, control the speed, and access other parts of the field. They've found a really nice balance so far in this quarter between those two things. So
Aiden Fraser nice and calm at the back. And he's run for the corner to run the clock down. And there we go.
And that'll be us for the first quarter. An exciting one and a very good one for the New Zealand Pasifika men's side. They find themselves up 2-0 on the scoreboard against the New Zealand Development men's with goals to Adrian Smith and to Aiden Fraser, 1 field goal and 1 penalty stroke. A lot of the game played between 25-yard lines, so in the midfield battle. With the Pasifika men's goalkeeper relatively unfazed through that quarter, but not without opportunities for the New Zealand Development men. Ethan, if you are sitting in that New Zealand Development men's huddle right now, what are you saying to these guys?
Well, I would certainly be trying to break down that great press defence that Pasifika are putting on from their half press. I'd probably be trying to go up the middle a bit more with some strength. They've been pushing out wide quite a lot and they seem to be getting shut down. So wide's not working, and I believe that's probably what Pasifika want them to do, is go wide. So, yeah, I think the dev team are playing a little bit into the Pasifika's hands at the moment, and that's probably why it's 2-0 on the scoreboard. What do you think, Brad?
Yeah, I agree. I think the Pasifika men's side, and certainly from what I know of Brett Lever, their coach, he will want them to play physical, he'll want them to play fast, he'll want them to attack the goal, and I think it's leading the New Zealand Development men out of their structures a little bit and forcing them into errors. I think that Simon Brill would be pretty disappointed that they're making, especially as they go forward. And I think he'll expect his guys to be tougher on the ball. They're going to have to warrant the challenge from the Pasifika men's side and wear that physical contact. But they have to cherish the ball a little bit more. Too often I think they're trying to progress in through their midfield, and the physical challenge from the Pasifika men's side is enough to disrupt their go forward. So look to guys like Max Wyndham-Smith, who can stretch the game out a little bit for this New Zealand Development side and play with a little bit of flair going forward. Let's see if they can get some early ball up to their attackers, him and George Baker, and get a little bit going.
Yeah, I wonder if that combination of Xander Fraser and John Peterson in the middle in that first quarter was just really strong, and so maybe the development couldn't come up in that lane. But it looks like Jan's off at the moment, so it might be a good time to maybe see if the dev network or the dev team can start to come up the middle.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what. That's a phenomenal bit of stick skill there from George Baker. George Baker, who plays his hockey down in Christchurch for the Marist club down there. He's a very skillful player, and look for him and Max Wyndham-Smith to combine a little bit going forward. If this development team are to start to threaten, there is George again on the ball.
Looks like Max has gone actually up into the forward line. I'm pretty sure he was back in there in the midfield in the first quarter, so
yeah,
maybe they've pushed him up to try and break up the defence a bit.
Yeah, I know one of Simon Brill's strengths in his coaching is allowing players to play what's in front of them, and if they have the opportunity to go forward, he will expect his other players to just fill in positions and make things happen. So don't be surprised to see some of these midfielders push forward, be replaced by other guys, and play a free-flowing game of hockey. As we see the intercept from the overhead ball taken down there by Isaac Holbrook.
That was a great run by Isaac then. Do you think they're still feeling each other around, these two teams? I think they might be still doing it. unless they've come out. Looks like the dev team's come out with a slightly different game plan.
Yeah, they've gone right up into a full press on that sideline there.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see. Max is right up splitting, unable to pick the split pass there, which has opened up the other side of the field, so George Baker's going to have to do some work, but they force an error. So that could be something that's been employed by Simon Brill, is exploring the option of a full press on those sideline hits. We'll see what happens for the remainder of the quarter. Moss Jackson going through the lumberjack yard there. More hits than Tina Turner, but
I think they're going to have to be careful though, because if they are going to press right up on that one side, I'm pretty sure Aidan Fraser just picked it then and went immediately to the opposite side. Unfortunately, yes, there was an error, but I think they're going to have to watch that.
Yeah, it is. It's high risk, high reward. If you can turn the ball over there and you have players around it, you can attack from a pretty strong position. But when there's somebody with an overhead exploit like Aiden does, and confidence of someone like Stu Pidu, who you can see kind of overlapping with the left half there, it is risky if you get it wrong. As we see,
great ball up the line.
It's going to force a save, and we will get a long corner for the Pasifika men.
We've got Jan Peterson back on.
And that was goal scorer Adrian Smith, who just got the ball going forward into the circle there. Number 8 for the Pasifika men's side.
Looks like Jan's gone up into the front line as well. Looks like both teams have been switching up their midfield. I tell you, Brad, I see Stuart Pidu playing every weekend down in Hamilton, and he has raised his game for this game today, I can tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. Not often do a lot of these guys get the opportunity to represent the Pasifika culture, and you and I both know what pride we take in playing in our Māori hockey tournaments. So the opportunity for these guys to play for that culture and their heritage, it is a reason to step up and lift their game. You see guys out here like Sam Hewitt, who has spent years and years playing for his Māori heritage, and how proud I know he is to play for his Cook Island side. It's just an excellent opportunity for these guys to do that. So it's hats off to this tournament and what guys like you have been able to put together for these players, is to create this environment.
Yeah, speaking about Sam Hewitt, there's not a lot of double international hockey players we've got the likes of Bevan Hari, who played for the New Zealand Indians and New Zealand Māori, and Brett Lever for the Fijians and New Zealand Māori, and Sam Hewitt now, he's played New Zealand Māori and now playing for Pasifika.
Yeah, it's just testament to exactly as we see the first save employed there by Callum Grassick for the New Zealand Pasifika men. Pretty regulation save in the end after an incredible bit of stick work by the New Zealand development attacker there. I think it's testament to the diversity in our sport and what cultures we do have, and hockey being one of the most diverse sports in the world, even inside our country of New Zealand, what cultures we have participating, that we have guys that are eligible for both. And I've spoken through a lot of these games where we've had players that could have been playing for both teams, even as far as umpire Alicia Anka, who's both Indian and Māori. So it's awesome to see these guys out here and representing both, either, their cultures and their heritage this weekend.
I had words with Kevin Fraser and Brett and told them that I was part Tongan if they needed any players, but they said it wasn't Masters this week, so...
Strong challenge there by Jan, but the development side do get the ball out the other end.
I think I like seeing Max Wyndham-Smith back in the midfield. I think he gets a bit more involved. What do you think?
Yeah, it's it looks like they're trying to use him to lead that press. So he's first up there, setting up on this again high press on Stewart on the sideline. They are going to win the ball back, so it's obviously a strategy that Brilli is trying to use. And I mean, until that turnover there looked pretty successful. I think you'll see him at different points of the game playing different positions. Like a lot of these players, they're all very talented at a wide range of skills. So using them at different parts of the games where they need those skill sets. As we see another strong challenge here by George Baker. Pacific men will retain possession.
So Max played a bit of hockey down in Hamilton. No doubt he would have faced off against Stuart Purdue often.
Yeah, they would have had some tussles, those two. It's good to see them out here again, having another one. Obviously, they've played some hockey together and against each other. We've got a lot of that out here. As we've got a slight mistake here from Callum Olsen, allows the Pacific men to move their way up the field, put a little bit of pressure on.
Yeah, this is great pressure by the Pasifika. Employing that sliding defence again. And they've turned it over.
Yep,
right to Xander Fraser.
That's great composure on the ball with George Baker chasing him down.
Yeah, Xander looking for his winger earlier, but he wasn't there, so...
Yeah, we can see there Fitu Nokisi just a little bit late getting out to the T-bar there where his players wanted him to get to receive that ball. It's unfortunate because they've done all the hard work in winning the possession. They will want to make as much of their opportunities as possible.
Looks like Max has dropped back into the midfield. He's starting to get more hands on the ball. Back out to Callum Olsen.
Yeah, it looks like the Pacific men are happy just playing in a half court here. Expecting or asking questions of the New Zealand developments team to hit long and play an aggressive ball through their slide. As we see Adrian Harrington Watt comes forward with the ball through to Callum, who's played to Batesy, and it's a great big tackle there.
Xander Fraser. Back to little brother. Yeah, good call, umpire. Came up off a dev stick there. And will the Pacifica look to slow it down a little bit? Or will they charge up the other side? Looks like they're charging. Great
little bit of skill there.
Oh, he's still going. Needed a little air on that shot, didn't he, just to get it over the keeper.
Fantastic bit of skill there through the New Zealand Pacifica side. Resulted in a really quality circle entry and unable to quite get the ball back in front of the goal like you'd hoped. Louis Beckett from the in goal for New Zealand Development able to shut that down on the baseline nice and early, which needed to happen because it was alert stations. Another great little touch pass and skill there from Julius Talaval. He's finding a good little bit of purchase down this right-hand side, and the Pacific men keep coming to him as Jake Suchun plays the ball out to him again. That's Julius with that same forehand drag that got him past three defenders in the last possession.
Yeah, he's got a great little fake on that drag, actually. He gives a little bit of a body fake before he pulls it about a metre to the left. Yeah,
for a big boy, it's really good to see a strong body feint in him before his drag, and due to his length, he does have a nice long drag, so it becomes really difficult for defenders because with the body feint, you do have to protect the carry before the drag. So fantastic bit of skill he's got there. So playing on that right side opens up the middle of the field for him as development team play the ball around the back with Callum Olsen and Adrian Harrington Watt. It's a good little bit of defending there by Xander Fraser, and they break out. The Pacific men going forward at speed. Xander Fraser on the ball, just lifts the ball.
Bit of a no shot there, but great work up to there.
Yeah, unfortunately not the shot Fitu Nokisi would have wanted there.
A little off balance.
Yeah, probably had more time than he thought he did. He'll wish he had that opportunity again, and if they can keep playing like this, he very may well get it. But Pacifica men still up on the scoreboard. New Zealand development men yet to crack through this defensive unit, but will win themselves a penalty corner.
Is that the first penalty corner of the game?
Definitely is for the development side. That corner one from Moss Jackson, as I mentioned in the pre-broad, Callum Olsen, a real exponent of the drag flick, is heading up. The other one, obviously, is number 18, Charles Ulrich. Both very good drag flickers in this New Zealand development side.
What would you go to, Brad, right now? If you were in that huddle, would you say step up Callum and rip one to the top right?
Yeah, I'd want to see Cal get a first one away. He's a long body, so if he does get it up, it's going to go quick. What we need is to test Callum Grassick out a little bit. He's made one save so far. It's got to be on target.
Oh, he's laid it off, and Callum Grassick has eaten it up. No problems.
Yeah, so they've gone a little behind the back play to Charles, who ended up taking the flick. I don't think, again, he got the purchase on it that he was after. Nice little play, just not quite executed, I think, as well as they would have liked. And that is a phenomenal goal.
Why have penalty corners when you can dribble down the sideline and down the baseline and roof it?
So that, as we check out the replay here, that's the penalty corner save. And as we come back, they play the ball across the other side of the field, down onto the baseline at the T-bar there. And I'm pretty sure that's Oscar Nation who, yes, bounce, and straight over the head of the Pacifica men's goalkeeper for their first goal of the match. So that brings us to 2-1.
That's probably the best individual goal we've seen of the day, actually.
It's a fantastic bit of skill there, but the Pacifica men are back on attack quickly.
Oh, what a save by the keeper.
Sam Hewitt looking great in front of goal there, gets a good shot away, but it's well saved by Louis Beckett. He's having a good game here. Yeah,
Sam had 3 men on him there just at the spot and managed to pull it back and get a shot away.
Yeah, he's playing well, which is good to see for the Pacifica men. That goal from Oscar, that's a heck of a finish, and that's the sort of goal you dream of when you're wishing, how cool can I score a goal, and you do them at training, but to actually do it in a full game at a tournament of this level is pretty impressive, as the development men look to build a little bit more attack.
Yeah, I think they got a bit of confidence in their step now after that goal.
Yeah, absolutely. They will have been they will have been a little down after conceding a goal pretty early and then a second one just before the break. So to get them one back and know that they are in this match, and if they stick to their execution and their structures, they will be in this match. They'll gain a little bit of confidence from that.
A little bit of a change up in the midfield. We've got Tim Sheed there playing in the mids, and looks like Daniel Wood's back on at the back.
Yeah, Charles Ulrich has just pulled himself to the back here, and they're looking to use a little bit of an overhead ball. Charles has a big one on him, so don't be surprised if he just falls into that free hit pocket and look to bypass a bit of this Pacific press that they've been struggling to get through.
Looks like the Pacific are trying to drag this game long. We've got Jan Peterson's right up in the circle already.
Yeah, he's joined up there by Upiti Tuimana, who I have seen hit a ball, and the ball stays hit. So between he and Jan, if they get something connected going forward at goal, it's going to be impressive to see.
And here we go, completely left out wide, and that ball's come into the circle, and it's a good aerial play. Great tackle. Looks like Sam Hewitt there claiming he was maybe shoved in the side or back. Umpire having none of it. Oh, great defence.
Yeah, that was Moss Jackson going forward with the ball there. He just trying to link up with George Baker, two boys that have played some hockey for Canterbury together. It's good to see them linking up. they would have liked that shot on goal to be a little better quality.
So some real strong defence in that circle from Aidan Fraser just then, and he's just run over into the corner to basically say to everyone, right, it's half time, we're going to have a break. So what about that for a first half? I think the dev team came back in that last 5 minutes, eh?
Yeah, they've certainly found a couple of things that are working for them, and it's exciting to see when players are going forward with the skill that some of these development players have. It's exciting hockey, and it's fun to watch. And both these sides, the Pasifika men's and the New Zealand development men, are putting on a real spectacle here in the last game of our first day of the New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament. The score at the moment is 2-1. We've got goals to Aidan Fraser and Adrian Smith for the New Zealand Pasifika team, and then of course that goal we saw just moments ago to Oscar Nation from the New Zealand development side. Still plenty of hockey to play in this one. What do you think, Ethan, if you're Brett Lever, and a good looking man he is, what are you telling this Pasifika men's side? What do they need to fix? What needs to happen, especially in this first 5 minutes of the next quarter, to make sure that they don't get themselves back into a 2-2 draw?
Yeah, I think Brett's probably going to tell them to just get that press working again, at least the half press. They did such a good job for about 20 minutes of that first half, keeping the network, the dev team out. And the dev team are just starting to find a few little holes in there. I'm wondering maybe if it was me, I'd probably put Jan Peterson back into the midfield rather than up in the front. I don't think I've seen him touch the ball since he was up in the forward line, and he's got a lot of strength. So I think I'd try and play the first 10 minutes of the second half with some strength, hold that middle strong, and then, what do you think, Brad?
Yes, we just look at the highlights here. That's the first goal there to Adrian Smith. It was a fantastic goal worked by Jan Peterson when he was playing there. As we see, just a couple of little opportunities here through Isaac Holbrook, who I thought played well going forward. Called on a good save from Callum Grassick, but created something going forward in that quarter. The other one here is Julius Tullival with a nice set of skills, but shut down well by Louis Beckett. I think both teams will just want to be a little more clinical in front of the goal. They're creating opportunities and they're getting in the right areas of the field. Here is Oscar Nation stripped by Xander Fraser as he comes back down the field from the second quarter. And this is the shot where I'm sure he wished he'd had that one again. And Fetu Nokisi would have taken a better shot here. This is the penalty corner for the New Zealand development team. Remember here we went to the first bracket, played behind, and Charles just didn't quite pick up the flick how he wanted to. Probably came at him a little quick. Well saved by the goalkeeper Callum Grassick here. And this is what leads to the goal. So after this save, they get the long corner, and you can see the development team, the Pasifika team, just a little slow to react to this ball transfer. So the ball comes across, Adrian doesn't quite get out at it, and Oscar Nation's left on the baseline to go one-on-one, gets the ball aerial, and that's a fantastic finish for their first goal of the match. We saw a couple little opportunities here. There's Sam Hewitt's shot at goal, saved in by Louis Beckett. So plenty of action in this game, which is exactly what we want to see. And thanks to One Foundation for that replay. And as you see the teams there going through their halftime talk, what we did see just before the replays is that the New Zealand development team had split themselves up into three little groups. Now, I would assume that is attackers, midfielders, and defenders, and they're just talking through their processes. You see there Simon Brill giving some instruction, making sure they're all on the same page, and being very tactically aware with whatever he's got on the whiteboard there. They will want to play to structures. Yeah, they will want to make sure that they are keeping their systems in place. They are executing to a high level, and each of their layers are doing the right thing. Now, as the teams start to come back out here, we will have a goalkeeper change for the New Zealand development. Louis Beckett's night is done, and Taylor Craigie will jump in for the development New Zealand side, and it looks like Callum Grassick will come back out again for the Pasifika men's team.
Just a little shout out to our sponsors. We've got Go Hockey, we've got Keep It Life, all the insurance you need, major sponsor One Foundation, Barna Family Farms, providing a lot of food for the event, onyx. All our umpires are dressed in onyx, and a few of the teams are dressed in onyx. And MTEL Intelligence Solutions providing the IT solutions for the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. We couldn't put this on without them, and fortunately in New Zealand here we're lucky enough to be able to have live sports events with crowds and with participation from right across our country, and with the ability to run these events comes promotion of our game, and no bigger thanks to local Gecko Productions who are putting on the feed and the stream of this game, obviously broadcast through skysportnext and through the FIH app. We welcome all of your viewership across this last game of the first day, and we kick off the third quarter here. Ball possession with New Zealand Development. Callum Olsen at the back with
I'm
possession.
excited, Brad, I tell you. I think this second half is going to be a boomer.
Yep, absolutely. Both teams are still fighting for that little bit of ascendancy, and this is still going to go either way. I'd say there are still 3 or 4 goals left in this match.
I'd say it also could be a battle of the super coaches. Which coach is going to get his team to fire in this second half and take the game?
Yeah.
Is it going to be Brett Lever or Simon Brill?
Yeah, two high quality coaches, which is awesome to have in this environment. You know, these are our pathway players for New Zealand hockey and for Pasifika hockey. So to have coaches of that level working with these guys only strengthens those pathways even more. So massive hats off to the guys that are doing those roles and what experience and knowledge they give. And not just those two, the coaches across all of our games and all of our teams are extremely high quality. These players are very lucky to have those people in those positions.
I think we got little Adrian Fraser here, may have just taken a bit of a knock, bit of a fall then. Seems to be limping a little bit. Oh, great defence.
Yeah, good teamwork there from Zain Ayak and Jacob Suchun. Just to come in and create a little two-man tackle situation there as Pasifika win the ball going forward. That is Zain on the ball out there looking to go over, and he has instead gone over the dugout.
That ball is out of here. I tell you, that's probably bigger than some of the sixes that Guptill's hitting lately.
Yeah, both of them. The development men will have that possession there. Again, the Pasifika men's team happy to just sit in a half press there and allow them to transfer the ball without breaching the midfield. You can see the intercept there from Jake Suchun, and Jan Peterson surveys what's happening in front of him and opts just to roll the ball back to Adrian Smith. Xander Fraser looking to push ahead.
Boy, that man steps big steps, doesn't he?
Yeah, I've only ever seen myself take steps that big if KFC are having a sale.
Yeah, I tell you, brother to brother, this is what this team's all about, these Pacific boys. Some great work here. It's a bit like Piggy in the middle just there. Good ball out wide. Forward. Let's see what the big fella can do. Whoa. Boy, can he hit it on the run.
Yeah, there's some excitement in this Pasifika team. Yeah. So Callum Olsen will come back onto the ball here. I wouldn't mind seeing him throw the odd ball over the top of this three-quarter press and just ask some questions of these defenders out here. I know both Callum and Charles Ulrich, good exponents of the overhead aerial ball.
I guess the problem you got with that, though, is when you got a team who's just sliding left and right, generally the umpires are going to favour the defender if you drop a ball. You know, you kind of want that running game to drop a ball onto a winger that's sprinting. So I just think at the moment maybe they're just being a bit cautious not to throw those bombs in. And, boy, this defence for this Pacific team, they are like a well-oiled machine just going back and forth, really keeping this dev team at bay.
Yeah, I'm impressed with how Brett's got these guys operating.
Such an old school thing too, you know?
Yep.
But, man, it works. This is very good attack here, though, from the dev team. They're really trying to penetrate.
Yeah, George Baker unable to bring it in there. He's in a good spot, but he kind of got caught with two guys. He and Luca Burley on the same line. Another couple of guys that have played a bit of hockey together.
21 players in that half right then. The only person not in that half was the goalkeeper at the other end.
Yep.
So that means the Dev are definitely stepping up to come and play.
Yep. Yep, they'll want to get this scoreboard even as quickly as possible and ride the momentum they had in the back end of that that second quarter.
I still think they should have gone to Callum Olsen on that first drag flick. I liked your call on that, and I think they should have done it. Let's hope he gets one, eh?
Yeah, they'll have an opportunity to attack here. If they've got strikers moving laterally, which is important to see, and carrying the ball with intent, but that's well read by Adrian Smith. He's a quality player. Like I said, has played
that's
some.
Too high there,
has
and
played some
Stuart
time.
Pitu takes the ball up. Yeah, I do like what Adrian Smith brings. He certainly brings commitment. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's awesome to see. So he's played for the Fijian national men's side for a number of years. So it's
great
fantastic
save
to see
there
him
by.
here.
Is that the Julius? Yeah. Has he swapped wings? Oh no, he's out. No, he hasn't. Here he comes. Out to Julius on the wing.
That's Zane out on the left and Julius on the right.
Yeah.
Similar looking fellas.
Similar size.
Yep.
Good size players.
Yeah, it's Tim Shee just bringing the ball under control, rolls it back to David Bates, who just assesses where Sam Hewitt is and figures out what his option is. Gone back to Charlotte at the back there, Jan Peterson putting a bit of pressure on.
Pretty sure I remember talking to Brilly about his team that there is a few have come up from down country, so they wouldn't have had much game time or practice with each other.
Yeah,
whereas these Pacific boys, I know they've been practicing a bit together.
Yeah, there are a few guys on this development pathway from Canterbury.
Yeah.
And the good thing is they've played a fair bit together, but you're right, they won't have spent much together as a whole team. And I know these Pacific boys, they've been jumping on the turf every chance they could get in the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
Here in Auckland.
Oh, that was unlucky. No, good call from the umpire there.
Yep, Max thinks no, too high.
Definitely agree with him on that one.
Yep, Adrian Smith reckons.
Unless we show a replay, then I won't.
No. They're always right, those guys in pink. Even when they're not right, they're right. So.
Yep. Good to see no cards today at all. I actually personally put the chairs out there in the middle dugout, hoping that they would never get used today, and they haven't so far, touch wood.
Yeah, it's been a high quality game despite how quick and fast and physical it's been here. So I'm impressed with the level that both these teams are playing at.
Looks like the game's starting to pick pace up again.
Yep. Oh, it's definitely getting a little bit of passion in here. We talked about.
There was some great work from Sam Hewitt putting pressure there on the. I don't know which number he was putting pressure on, and that's turned over now.
That's where you just see the size of Julius Talavau through two of the development players there.
What a great gap hit he hit then.
Yeah, that's a great shot on the run there by Peter Felstead and a great save down there by Taylor Craigie, but unable to clear it clean enough, and they have given away a penalty corner, which we'll see the Pasifika men's team as we see the replay here.
I'm picking Jan Peterson to score a goal.
Great little turnover there by Talavau, and he plays the ball forward to Felstead, who gets a great shot away just inside the circle. But as we saw here, Taylor Craigie unable to clear it, and there is a poor tackle in there for a penalty corner.
That was a great One Foundation replay, that one. What do you think?
Yeah,
Jan Peterson?
I wouldn't be surprised to see Aiden Fraser have a flick here.
Oh, what a goal!
Yep, that's Aiden Fraser, and that is in the back of the net. It's a great low flick.
Really sold it that he was going right and dragged his shoulder around and just picked that line.
Yeah, as we see on the One Foundation replay here, it's Jan Peterson who traps, and it's a clean trap for Aiden Fraser to open up that left side of the goal there.
And not only did he fake and go the other way, but he fell over and took out the runner too.
Yeah, Taylor Craig would be disappointed with that. He got down there, but the ball did have just enough skip on it that it went over his stick.
And there's an unforced error there. Looks like the dev team might be a little bit shocked at that. 3-1 now.
Yeah, it puts the Pasifika men's side in a bit more comfortable position than 2-1. They won't be done. By no means will I ever hear Brett Lever say park the bus.
Absolutely.
But the development team look like they're still pushing here. Moss Jackson is wanting to put some pressure on.
Yep, if I was Pasifika, I certainly wouldn't be sitting now back and thinking, okay, good, we're 3-1. I would be just playing your same game, same defence, and just keep trying to put a few more on.
Yeah. See Isaac Holbrook up
great
there.
intercept. He's gone straight to the hoop. Oh, good D.
Yeah, it's an interesting little idea there from Fetino Kisi. He tried to pick the ball up 3D on his receive, and unfortunately there's just a development player come running through at the same time, so he didn't get a clear swing at it, which would have been interesting if he did. But it was a nice little change of pace there by Zayn Ayuk in 15, who just cut through from left half there on the intercept. And,
it was a great angle, wasn't it?
Yeah, and opened up both sides of the field.
He had some serious pace as well.
Yeah, I think the physical abilities of these Pasifika players are going to go a long way in this tournament this weekend. They're big, they're fast, they're physical players.
And here's our first card. Is that our first card of the day?
We had a couple earlier. It's the first one of the game. As Max Beach isn't interested in that contest. Pasifika men will play one down for 2 minutes.
Was it Sam Hewitt? Oh, that was a good option.
Yeah, a little back of the stick there, unfortunately. Bren's got eagle eyes, and he's not having a bar of it.
No, he picked that up well, didn't he?
Stu Pitter will use the wisdom card and spend as long as possible taking that free hit to run the 2 minutes down that his players due off the field.
I tell you, this is when I'd start bombing overheads, just like that one there.
Unfortunately, Peter Falstead unable to pull that one down from Julius Talaval.
Looks like the development team are not employing the same kind of defence as the Pasifika team. Certainly, possibly can open them up for a bit of a longer playing game from the Pasifika if they wanted to. Looks like, though, they've gone into defence mode, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd say the Pasifika men's team would be pretty content with just seeing out the 2 minutes of their carded player.
Yeah, Suchun with a good run just a minute ago, and now Fraser is, unlucky, just a little bit wide.
It's really evident here is how vocal and how loud Jan Peterson is, in his direction of this team, expecting that they come out to this half-court press while they wait for their 11th man to come back on, not to run themselves short by over-exerting into a full press. They're happy just to get back into this slide action that's been successful for them so far. Now, they'll be without a free man for a little while here. Jan's kind of playing it, but they will be one down.
Yeah, I like that he's come back into the midfield, even though he's out on the wing at the moment, but he's certainly adds that extra strength. It's a good run from...
Yeah, it's Charles Ulrich there. He's
it's a great
incredibly
run.
tidy player,
corner.
And he's put it straight on the foot.
Boy, he showed some clean pair of heels there when he took on some of the...
yeah, as we see the
Pasifika.
replay there, it was just a little double turnover. Jan unable to clear out there. Turns the ball over, and Charles, a great young player in our game at the moment, just manages to get himself through a few players now. Charles plays his intercity hockey for Takapuna, and will be happy with earning his team a penalty corner.
I got Max Wyndham Smith to push out, and what do you reckon? What's going to happen here, Brad?
Yeah, I'd like to see just a straight flick. Looks like Cal is off the field, so first bracket, Charles, straight flick.
I reckon they'll go back to the post for Max. Oh, Or they could just do what you said, Brad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charles a pretty good flicker of the ball, so I think that first one where he came off the back of Callum, he just didn't quite pick it up well, and you can see there when he does, he's a phenomenal drag flicker, and on the replay here, thanks to Keeper Life, you can see picks it up clean, and there's not much doing in terms of trying to stop that. So that brings him back to 3-2. We've got a goal there to Charles, and we're back in that little one goal difference, which neither team are sitting that comfortably with. So it'll be exciting to see how the last 2 minutes of this game plays out. You can see the development team have got their noses up. Great
little defence from Aidan Fraser there, and he's carried on right up to the front, and just a little bit of a turnover there. Boy, the refs look good in their pink shirts from Onyx, don't they?
Yeah, you're not going to miss them, that's for sure. So as we go into the last minute and a half here of the third quarter, we see the development men just putting a little bit more on, forcing an error into the Pacific men's side. Yeah,
that was, I think, maybe the defence just lapsing a little bit in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's important that both teams can put on a full performance here. Both teams have done so well to get to this point. They need to keep it on, and as we got a minute left here.
Good unforced error there. Forced error there by the Pasifika, putting a bit of pressure on the Dev attack.
Yeah, you can see they've gone back to that full press on the sideline.
Yeah, you're right. They have too.
George Baker's up, cutting. Aiden's opting just to go out of that area. But development do win the ball back, and Charles Ulrich, the last goal scorer, on the ball as he rolls it out, and Moss Jackson picks it up.
Good defence there by the big fella.
Yep, that's That's an enterprising little play there from Charles. Moss played the ball back across to him, and he's just one touch looking for his attackers in the circle. Unfortunately, it didn't fall to anybody in his team. But you can see they are pushing for one here. Now, looks like Aiden, for the third time, will end the quarter by rolling the ball into the corner.
Seems to be a familiar thing he's doing every quarter. I think he likes doing that. Yeah,
he's pretty good at that. So that will pull up our third quarter. The score currently 3-2 to the New Zealand Pasifika men. Goal score is 1 to Adrian Smith and 2 to Aidan Fraser. And we've got goals to Charles Ulrich and Oscar Nation for the New Zealand development side. Now, 17 minutes to play in the last game of the day between New Zealand Pasifika men and New Zealand development men on the first day of our New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament. Ethan, are you liking what you see so far in this game?
Absolutely. I thought that quarter, if we were doing a scoring like a boxing match, went to the Dev. I think they really came out and owned that quarter. I think the whole first half I'd give to Pasifika, and it's really going to tell in this final quarter. I don't know what Brett Lever's going to be telling his boys, but boy, they need to dig deep, and they need to take the power of South Auckland that's here and really dig deep and hold this Dev team out, because I think the Dev team's coming back. What do you think, Brad?
Yeah, as we look at this replay here, this is the penalty corner that the Pasifika men managed to win themselves after that shot from Falstead. And Aidan Fraser, like I said, very good flicker of the ball. It's a clean trap. He puts it in the corner.
It's a great shot.
Yep, it's a great finish. As we see the next replay here, development team was the ball. They play a little over, intercepted, but it falls through to the development team. Unfortunately, a little back of the stick shot there, well seen by umpire Brent Duckworth. Now, there's plenty to watch from that quarter. You know, we had the little double turnover here.
I'd like to see Xander Fraser get into this quarter and really own it. The likes of him and Jan Peterson. And then the boys to support them around. I think they can do it, but they've got to watch this Dev team, because they are starting to fire now.
Yeah, one thing that'll be interesting to see is what the fitness levels of both these sides are. Now, we know with the with the New Zealand development side, their fitness levels will be pretty high. They're young fellas, they're pretty fit. So we'll see what some of these bigger bodies and some of the older bodies of this Pasifika men's side hold up to the last 17 minutes of this match. But expect the New Zealand development team to really put some pressure on.
Here we go. Nice little overhead to start. Yep, never works that, eh? Always goes the defence way.
Yeah, it's a tough one there when you're not quite throwing it to a clear player. You've almost got to throw it into
now
that.
That's a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah, you
right
need
to
to
the
throw it
space.
into the space there.
Yeah.
And allow your players to move on to it. As New Zealand development break forward, Isaac Holbrook unable to bring the ball under control.
Yep, well read there by Stuart Pidu. We've got the big fella out here, Julius Talaval, and he's gone and cracked it down the line, and Sam not quite getting there.
Yeah, I think Julius has been fantastic today in his role at right half. He's played a big load of minutes, and he's a big body. But he's done really well, and even under the attention of guys like Moss Jackson and Adam Banks out here, he's executed his skills well, and I think he'll be pretty stoked with how his day's gone. As we see Adrian Harrington-Watt with the ball forward to Isaac Holbrook into the midfield.
Great tackle.
Yeah, as Jan just has a look at what's happening.
I tell you, I'm watching right in front of us, these development players, the forwards, they are crisscrossing all day trying to confuse this Pasifika defence.
Yeah, it's something quite common we see in the high performance hockey now is forwards not playing with set sides. Great save there by Grasic.
Great save, and
Stuart
Pidu. Great tidy up from Stuart Pidu there. He's still going. Now he's looking for a safe outlet, and he's found it in Jan. Oh, just a little wayward there.
Yeah, it's something we see quite often at this level is strikers don't really have sides anymore. You get up the field, you get to the middle, and you just play what's open. You lead off each other, and all three strikers will spend different times of the game on different sides, just depending on the flow of the game. So
it's great to see, isn't it?
It is. It becomes a lot more dynamic game, and it makes it more difficult for defenders now to man-to-man mark. So
yeah, they've got to have that communication to hand players off to each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Certainly pretty even at the moment in this last quarter.
Yeah, neither team's really put that stamp on that I would have expected.
Yeah.
If anything, the development have a little bit of the run of territory and possession. But it's just breaking down at that pass there, and it's credit to the Pasifika defence who've adjusted pretty well.
Yeah, we've got an injury here, little accidental whack in the face there to young
looks
Aiden
like
Fraser.
Looks like the Fraser boys may have collided.
I think he just accidentally took a misguided stick there.
It's unfortunate for the Pasifika team because he's been probably one of their best today, Aiden at the back. They'll really miss him if he
let's hope
is
he can.
unable
Let's
to
hope
continue.
it's not really serious. They can get him back out there. Seems that the Pasifika have been focused on their defence in the last 2 or 3 minutes. So yes, you're right, Brad. They will sorely miss Aiden.
Yeah, it looks like Zane Ayuk's come back on and may play at the back with Stu Pitu. Aiden's going to be tough to replace at the back for the Pasifika men's side, so they're not going to want to do too much desperate defending there if they can avoid it. So playing at the other side of the field is certainly going to help. New Zealand development just win themselves a free hit.
I think Jan's gone off for a little break as well, so let's hope that when he comes back on and hopefully Aiden comes back on, they can get that strength back up the middle. Certainly the Dev Network might try and come through the middle now. Some nice slick skills there.
Skill there by Etienne Harrington-Watt. Just unable to be taken down by Adam Banks.
Yeah, Tim Sheed there. Good little run down the line. And this is probably the first time I've seen the Pasifika without an outlet from their 16. So maybe they are feeling it. Oh, some great aerial skills there. Oh,
and the goal there finished by Max Wyndham-Smith. That's a great little bit of skill at the top there from Moss Jackson. I'm sure we'll see on a replay here. The ball's fallen to Adam Banks, who's just opened up the rest of the circle. So you can see, as you were talking about, Ethan, they don't really have a genuine outlet here, and it's something they're missing with Aiden Fraser going off the field.
Yeah, I agree.
Adam Banks is able to play the ball forward. Great little bit of 3D skill here by Moss Jackson, and the ball just does fall to Adam, who opens up Max Wyndham-Smith to find the equaliser. So that brings us to 3-3. We are in the fourth quarter, and I've said it twice today. If we do finish in a draw, we will be going to a penalty shootout. Now, there is still plenty of hockey to play. There's 12 minutes left, but the score is 3-3 between the Pacific men and the New Zealand Development men. So plenty of action left, but that is the procedure if we are tied up at the end of the match.
I tell you what, Brad, I made the draw, and I knew I should have put more time for shootouts, and I said, we won't have a lot of shootouts, and we could have the third shootout of the day.
Yeah, it's always the way. It's, I mean, you've heard of Murphy's Law, which is anything that can go wrong will go wrong, but Ethan, have you heard of Cole's Law?
No.
That's thinly sliced cabbage. It's a little dime out there for our viewers. You can use that if you'd like. You don't have to reference me, but you're welcome. So it looks like Xander Fraser's rolled into the back here in replacement for his brother.
Yeah, good idea. I was thinking either bring Jan Peterson back on at the back, but they've done a good move here, bringing Xander back.
Yeah, so Zane Ayuk's still back here with Xander. Looks like Stu's rolled out as an outside defender at the moment.
Here goes Jacob Suchun. And he's ripped one down wide to Sam Hewitt. But no, it's been cut off by the dev team. I don't know who cut that off, actually. Did you see who cut that off?
Yeah, that's well picked up by David Bates. As Charles Ulrich comes forward with the ball again. He's been been the key to their midfield attack, Charles. Couldn't quite link up there.
Did you see that the Pasifika player just went for the ball, which put the dev player off at the last second?
Yeah, it's one of those old fakes where it becomes difficult to trap if you think somebody else might get a little touch on it first. Good challenge there from Tim Sheed. Pasifika men will keep possession. But we are wrapped up 3-3, and that is Zane at the back there.
Bit scary to see the this dev team who haven't really played much time together, and they're just slowly getting back into it. And I imagine tomorrow and Sunday they're going to get better and better. And
yeah, these are all guys that have played at this level before, and you know, in national tournaments at under 21 and under 18 level, and some of them have played at an international age group level. So it's no surprise that as they begin to grow some connections, that they will continue to improve. And you know, a lot of these guys are from the different regions and play together in those regions. You know, we've got a few boys out here from North Harbour. Like I mentioned, there are a few from Canterbury. So these are guys that have played some hockey before. Brent Duckworth just allowing play to continue there. Maybe a little...
Yeah, that was a tough call there at the top of the circle. Could probably have gone either way. Maybe a little bit too much aerial, posing some danger, but he let it play on.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. You know, these guys are all very skillful players, and you know, when it's controlled in the air, I like to see it play and let these guys play what's in front of them. As Charles Ulrich looks to get in past Jacob Suchun.
Wonder how Aiden Fraser's going at the moment.
Yeah, we haven't seen him come back onto the field yet.
I can see him in the dugout, and he's looking okay. So let's hope they get him out
Olsen
here.
Coming forward here for the New Zealand development team. Puts that little skippy one in. George Baker unable to put the ball in the goal. He's in a great position, nice and low, like we teach all of our strikers, but just unable to pick up the bouncing ball of Callum Olsen. Now,
yeah, could have been a big missed opportunity there.
Yeah. As we wind down in this fourth quarter, it's important to take every opportunity you can, and George will be ruining that missed opportunity there.
And especially with the amount of attacks these dev team have been doing on Pasifika, I think Pasifika are pretty lucky to get away with that then.
Yeah. Look, there's hockey's a game of millimetres, and you've got to take little opportunities when you get them. Same down that end just there. Fetu Nakisi unable to get onto the end of that pass.
Looks like we've got Aiden Fraser's standing at the halfway. So whatever happened to him, he seems to be okay now, which
that's great
to get him out there in a hurry.
That's great to see. Hopefully Aiden can get back on quickly, because they are certainly missing him at the back. Between Stu and Zane, while they've held the fort down well, I'm sure this team will be happy to see Aiden come back on the field.
Looks like Jan Peterson's about to come back on too, so it looks like the Pasifika are going to put on some strength to finish the game off. Here comes Aiden Fraser now. He's back on. He looks good. He looks healthy.
Yeah, they've also just pulled Julius Talaval back on as well, who, as I mentioned earlier, has had a fantastic day, and it's probably one of his first rests as development.
Good D there from Callum Olsen there.
Yeah, go to work the ball out of their back end. They're transferring well. Pacific men just happy to sit in a three-quarter at the moment. They've pushed up a little from the half-court they did employ at times during the first three quarters. Again, there's Charles Ulrich on the ball.
Forced the error there. Yeah, I think that Mojo's come back with the Pasifika team just last minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be an exciting finish.
Back on, and Aiden Fraser and Jan Peterson, it lifts this side. Those are both quality players, and the team will know what they mean.
Look at that drag.
It's a great tackle.
He's been turned over though. Well read by Aiden. And unfortunately, little crossover there from Jan Peterson, who's back out on the field. And number 18, Adam Kailia. Just a bit of miscommunication there, but the ball was down in the other end of the field, so it's much safer down there for sure.
Yeah, I think Adam Kailia has been pretty quiet today. I would have liked to see a little bit more of him linking up the front with the likes of with Valstead and
Suchun.
And Jan Peterson up there, and he he's an incredibly talented player. As Julius Talaval comes and picks up a great overhead.
He's had a good game, that Julius, hasn't he?
Absolutely. He's not not a big name player, but he's played fantastic.
Well cut off by Stuart Pidu there. He's got a man hot on his heels, and he rolls back. Good smart play there. And Xander's now got a man on. He rolls back too. Some of these players certainly know what to do when they get someone coming up behind them, don't they?
Yeah, it's just good composure there. Like I said, it really speaks to the experience of some of those guys, namely Stu and Xander, and Aiden to be in a bailout position to receive the ball there. As he punches the ball forward, yeah. Falstead, just great little lead into that space there. But again, just content to roll the ball back and keep periods of possession. It's pretty obvious that Brett has instructed his guys to keep possession where they can. It's pretty hard to score in this game without the ball, so...
How has this tempo changed in the last 2 minutes, Brad? It has picked up, hasn't it?
Yeah, both teams know that. They got less than 5 minutes here, and to avoid going to a shootout, one of them is going to have to score.
And what a key difference Aiden Fraser makes. He's come back on, and he's commanding the team right from the back.
He's been strong. Aiden's been great at the back here for the Pasifika team. And he allows Xander to play a little higher up the field, which allows Jan to play a little higher up the field and be a bit more aggressive, which this team is going to need if they're going to want to score this go-ahead goal here.
Yeah. Come on, Pasifika. And just a little shove there.
Yeah.
Nothing malice in it.
No, that's just two guys competing for the ball, and it's good physical hockey.
Well intercepted there by a man out on the wing if it can. Zane Ayuk.
It's again Julius Talaval, who we've spoken about multiple times. He's had a great game there.
Great game.
He just picked up George Baker.
And Xander's flowing run, that looked really good there, and they're telling Stewie and Aiden to switch it.
Yeah, Charles just trying to push into there.
He might
unable
be
to get the ball.
Pick of the day, eh?
Julius has been fantastic.
Yeah, certainly had a great game. He's earned his rest. So Pasifika coming into the circle now. Here's a shot. Oh, it's a good one. Just going over the top.
Yeah, I know a few coaches that'd be pretty disappointed with them throwing that one over the goal. I've
I
heard
agree there.
Many coaches say you can't miss under the goal. So.
Yeah. Boy, if he'd nailed that anywhere in the goal, it would have been a very telling story.
Yeah, going into the last 2.5 minutes here, both teams are going to probably throw 1 to 2 punches each.
Yeah, looks like the Dev Network stretching it long again. They got Max Wyndham-Smith right up here in the actual goal circle.
Yeah, he scored the equaliser for them.
Swapping around.
He's dangerous, Max.
He is.
He played in the New Zealand under-21 side that went to the Sultan of Johor Cup in Malaysia. So he's played at this level and at international level before.
Yeah, and here they go. They're only 2 passes away from him. A little bit of egg carrying there, but a ball on the end of the stick. Oh, great tackles, Aiden, sorry.
Yeah, Aiden's been tough to beat tonight. I think he's been fantastic.
Good strong run out by Stuart Pitu. Oh, he's going straight to the hole, actually. Yeah, he's looking for his players, and he's done a great little pass there, switching it.
Yes, Adrian Smith, the first goal scorer.
Oh, he's just gone and hit himself in the face. Did it come off his stick or it come off the Dev stick?
Hard to tell in that sort of contest there, but Fitunakisi has taken one to
looks
the
like
head. I think he'll be okay.
Looks like it's off the Dev stick, so Pasifika maybe last chance to put this goal in. Good little fake there from Julius, and that's gone right across the face to Sam Hewitt, who has a shot.
Great save there. Yeah, pretty regulation from Taylor Craigie. Get down to those sort of angles, you expect your goalkeepers to look after those. And while it's a good solid shot from Sam Hewitt, equally saved by Taylor Craigie. Yeah, let's
1
see
minute
this
to
last
go.
minute here.
No timeouts. And that's an interesting call from the umpire.
Yeah, Max would like to see it go the other way. Unfortunately, it didn't, and we've now got a bit of a scramble down the attacking end for Pasifika.
Boy, has this game just completely opened up.
Yep, it's loud, it's vocal, these guys are passionate, the crowd are right behind it.
Yeah.
This is going to be last 30 seconds here. Can either team throw one last punch and try and get a hit on the scoreboard before we go to shootouts?
20 seconds. This is going to go down to the wire.
Strong tackle by Julius.
Great. Oh, you're joking. He's been carded. He's been given a yellow, and that's such a shame. He's had such a good game all day. Boy, I think the ref could have kept it in the pocket there, you think, just for the last 10 seconds?
Look, it was a pretty agricultural tackle there, unfortunately, from Julius, but I don't think that they're going to get the time here to...
it's 4 seconds. 12 seconds.
Probably the one mistake Charles Ulrich has made there in trying to force the ball forward.
So there we go, the countdown. We're going to another shootout.
Right, and that brings us to the end of the regulation time between the Pasifika men's side and the New Zealand development men. The final score there is 3-3 with goals to Adrian Smith and 2 to Aidan Fraser for the New Zealand Pasifika men, and goals to Oscar Nation, Max Wyndham-Smith and Charles Ulrich for the New Zealand development men. We will be heading to a penalty shootout, and for those of you who missed the last 2 games, the penalty shootout, each team will choose 5 attackers and 1 goalkeeper as their defender, and each attacker will get 8 seconds to take the ball from the 25-yard line into the circle and attempt to score a goal. Now, the attacker gets as many opportunities to score that goal as they can in the 8 seconds, and the penalty shootout doesn't end until there's either a goal is scored, the ball goes out of play, or an infringement is awarded to either the attacker or the defender, which will end the penalty shootout. Now, each team will go ahead and pick their 5s. It's a tough thing taking a penalty shootout, especially for a game of this high quality that it was. As we check out the One Foundation replays here, this is the little double turnover that I talked about earlier that resulted in Charles Ulrich going on a little bit of a dribble, gets through a couple of players, gets his baseline entry, and earns the penalty corner.
Great bit of play, that.
Yeah, and this is the penalty corner that they score off. Charles set up there.
Great push out and rips it.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal flick from Charles. He'll be stoked with that, and That brought them a little closer, and there's Charles again, kind of orchestrating the way this team comes forward. And as you see, the ball transferred back through Charles again. This is a little back of the stick. This is the shot from Adam Banks there that doesn't quite get away, and this is the third goal for the New Zealand development side. Pasifika unable to clear, well picked up there by Banks. They managed to get the ball to Moss Jackson at the top of the circle, who, with an impressive little bit of 3D, gets the ball back to Banks, who finds Max Wyndham-Smith right in front of the goal for the equaliser. And that one was the goal to put them at 3-3.
Such an unselfish pass too, that second to last pass.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a tough one there when you receive the ball in that much space, whether you shoot or whether you do try and find your man. And Max was in a fantastic spot, so full credit to him being there, but also to Adam Banks for finding him. Now, things got a little bit fast and a little bit rough at the end here. Neither team really able to break all the way through.
Oh yes, probably could have done a bit better with that.
Yeah, neither team really unable to make the breakthrough that they wanted to finish this game in regulation time. So we will be going to the penalty shootout. And as we see the teams get prepared here, it looks like for the Pasifika men's side, Callum Grassick, who has played the full game, will stay in goal. Looks like we've got Aidan Fraser, Jacob Suchun. Who else is coming over for the shootouts?
I've seen goalies turn into heroes in these shootouts. So who's going to stand up today? Is it going to be Callum Grassick for the Pasifika? Or is it going to be Lewis Beckett?
Yeah, so the 5 here for Pasifika, Jacob Suchun, both Aidan and Xander Fraser. Looks like Adrian Smith, the first goal scorer, is there. And if I'm not mistaken, Julius Talavau, who's had a phenomenal game.
Phenomenal game.
Yeah. Guys that have all gone really well today.
Could be a real fairy tale if he puts his ball in the back of the net. See how this keeper goes. Have you heard much of this keeper? Which keeper is this actually? Is this Lewis Beckett?
Louis. This is Louis.
Yep.
He played the first half, so he is back out there.
Yeah.
Backs himself in penalty shootouts. He's a mobile goalkeeper, and he's going to face off first against Adrian Smith.
Right, here we go. Hold on to your seats, guys. This is going to be a thriller. Brings it into the circle. Drags the goalie wide, and great save.
Yeah, just unable to get that last shot away there. Unfortunately, Adrian would have liked a little bit better finish. But Louis put enough pressure on. And we have Callum Grassick coming into the goal. And it looks like it's Isaac Holbrook out here for the New Zealand development men.
He's gone wide. Great save by Callum Grassick.
Yeah, that's a great stick save.
Callum's picked up the penalty.
Yeah, it's a great stick save by Callum Grassick. He's playing the ball to his forehand, so he does have the ability to play with the stick over that side, and ball just gets away from Isaac Holbrook a little bit. We've got Aidan Fraser up for the Pasifika men's side.
Oh, he's just lobbed him, and he's lobbed everything.
Yeah, I can see what he was going for. Louis Beckett did come out fairly aggressively, and he's not the tallest of goalkeepers, but Aidan just putting a little bit too much sauce on that one, and does go over the top of the goal, unfortunately. He'd be disappointed with that.
Max Wyndham-Smith steps up. Tournament controller Richard Baggs just holding his arm out, and we're away. Max draws him in, pulls left. Oh, made that look so easy.
Yeah, that's a pretty finish. You know, you move the goalkeeper from 1 foot of balance to the other foot, and it becomes pretty tough to save. And Max is pretty good at those skills in front of the goal, so no surprises there that he put one away.
Just done it so much pace, eh?
Yeah.
Here goes Xander Fraser. Goalie's come right out, and he's just gone straight through his legs.
Yeah,
I'd say that's the easiest one I've seen of the day.
Good composure there from Xander. You know, it's tough when the pressure is on you and the timing is on you to make sure you finish in time, but Xander's just found the gap.
And we've got the goal scorer from the great drag flick earlier coming up.
Yeah, Charlie Orich here.
Charlie Orich. Callum comes out. Charles goes one way. He's being dragged. Oh, great save. Callum Grassick right off the pad, off the hand. What do you call those things? Are they called mitts or pad?
Yeah, that's just off the handguard and stick, the outstretched stick. So it's impressive work from Callum. He's a tall goalkeeper, and we see Jacob Suchun step forward for the Pasifika team.
4 all with 2 to go.
Unfortunately, there at the bottom of your screen, young Louis got his helmet stuck in the net. I think he's just trying to take an extra couple of breaths before Jake Suchun comes at him.
We've got Max Beach just down in front of us. He's all-time umpire. Just watching closely. Suchun goes right. Swings around for a 180. Through the legs, underneath the goalie. Boy, he made that look good.
Yeah, that's a good finish there, Jake Suchun. So that levels things up. That's 1 each.
I tell you, I thought he was shooting, then he was shooting, and then he finally shot. He fooled me twice. Here we go.
If Moss can score here, that'll put them back to even. So Jake Suchun puts them ahead. Moss Jackson here to take.
Big save here from Callum Grassick. He's gone right out. It's gone round the back. Oh, he's great goal. Boy, that was a close one.
That's the one they needed to level things up. So
yeah. Oh, that could have gone either way, that one there. That could have been just missed Callum Grassick's glove by about a millimetre.
Yeah, it's a good fake there from Moss. He's a big, tall guy, so when he does drag the ball, there's a lot of distance. And we've got big Julius Talavau, who's had a great game up for the last one for the Pasifika men.
Goalie's gone right out early to meet him, and he's just gone around, and he's done a 180. Booyah, as they say. And Julius Talavau has just had an amazing game. He's capped it off with a wonderful goal at the end.
Yeah, it's a great finish from big Julius.
Callum Grassick can be a hero right here, can he? Can he be a hero? Yes. What do you think? Is he going to be a hero?
I'm going to say Callum Grassick to save.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to say Pasifika going home with the win. He's fake. He's gone. What great save! Oh, he's done it! Callum Grassick has kept them in it, and the Pasifika have pulled off a huge victory. What do you think, Brad? Was that intense?
That's a fantastic finish there from Callum Grassick in goal. He's done an excellent job in keeping Callum Olsen out. You know, he got 2 shots at it, saved the first one, and the second one went wide. So that caps off a fantastic game. The victory going to the Pacific men.
It was all Talavau right at the end, the pressure situation, and he said, hey, if I can step up and get this, so can you, Callum Grassick.
Yeah, Julius had a great game. I think the Pasifika men came out and were right from the get-go. They played fast, they played well. Their coach, Brett Lever, will be stoked with the way the game ended for them. And a good test for them to send it to a penalty shootout in their first game together, get these reps early in the tournament and still come away with the points. And
who's your player of the day? Brad, who's your player of the day?
It's hard to go past Aiden Fraser, just to see the influence when he was on versus off the field. And I know Julius had a great game, and so did Xander Fraser and Charles Ulrich, but Aiden Fraser was solid out there tonight for the Pasifika men at such a young age, commanding the back of the field for the side. But
I tell you what, mate, I'm going to stick with our Talavau. Talavau is the man. He had a great game, capped it off with a great goal at the end. I'm sticking with that man.
And thank you for joining me, Ethan. It's been a fantastic game brought to you by Local Gecko Productions. For all of you watching at home on Sky Sport Next and the FIH app, we will see you again tomorrow for 4 more games in our New Zealand Heritage Hockey Tournament 2021. I'm signing off. I've been Brad Pittman. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Brad.